All right, hi everybody. I'm just jumping on real quick. For those of you who didn't see our video earlier, we had a chance for hail here across, big time chance for storms here across Alabama. A couple storms of fire. The main show hasn't really started yet, but we have two storms of note. We have one just to north of Huntsville. This has actually been the storm way earlier that was over here on the Mississippi River, and it kept kind of cycling in and out and being a shower. It looks like it's gained some steam, and then more interestingly, we have this little shower here that I think if it can really kind of pick up and break through that cap, it would move directly to the Atlanta area. So we got to watch that very carefully. It's going due east, and it's not strong. It's not super strong right now. It's warned for quarters, and chances are it's probably just barely getting to the quarter size hail warning criteria. But it's in a very favorable environment, so we have to watch this extremely carefully as it slowly progresses towards Atlanta. We're going to move closer here now to the storm that is across to the north of Huntsville, and the reason why I came on to this stream right now, we just wanted to kind of, this storm, I'm going to roll it back just a tiny bit here, and this storm, so here's Huntsville right down the lower right hand corner, and this is Harvest, I think one of the suburbs of Huntsville. I've never been to Alabama, so if I screw up some pronunciations or various areas, feel free to correct me in the comment section. But we had this storm. It was just kind of meandering, looking pretty garbage, and then suddenly it exploded up, and now it seems to be dropping some hail across the town of Harvest right now. Let me move out of the way a little bit here. The correlation coefficient, the CC values are getting lower, and if I check on a couple other values here, the KDP is likely dropping. Definitely dropping at least quarter, $half size hail, probably mixed with some smaller hail in there as well as it gets closer to Meridianville. I would not be shocked if this starts to strengthen. Again, we're in a very loaded gun environment. A couple forecast balloons are put up in Birmingham, and we're showing very, very potent atmosphere. So any of these storms that go up can get severe very fast, and could also drop tornadoes pretty quick, especially as we get a couple hours from now. Things are really going to start getting a little more potent across the area. So that's what we're looking at right now across the area. For those of you just joining, we're following the storm just to the north and west of Huntsville across Harvest, Alabama. It's moving to the east towards Meridianville. This is so the northern sections, northern outskirt towns of the Huntsville area. And again, this isn't even the main show. There's going to be much bigger storms that are going to form in the next couple hours. And those are the ones that I really think Huntsville and Decatur and Birmingham, you're all going to have to really look out for as more potent storms begin to form. Now let's see. Let's see where else can we check out here. All right, I need to look at this storm over to the east of Birmingham. So just give me a second here. I'm going to switch radars over, and we're going to look and see at this other storm that is south of Oxford, Alabama, south of, what is this highway? The highway that connects Birmingham and Atlanta. This one is I-20. There we go. Yeah, so just south of I-20. Holy cow. And that must have been a recent update. Okay, so yeah, so this storm south of Oxford, it is really starting to develop fast. We have this marker, the purple little diamond, filled in diamond here. That is a hail size of over, the algorithm's picking up a hail size of over 3 inches. I don't think it's dropping hail that big right now. I think, but it's definitely strengthening rapidly. Yeah, it's getting better organized for sure. See any rotation? Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on the rotation for you guys as this storm. So it looks like it's a pretty compact little hail core, and this is in the woods here in Alabama, just again to the south of Oxford. And this storm is moving east, southeast, and it looks like a couple other showers trying to form up here as well. And again, you shift a little bit to the east, and you can see the major metro area of the Atlanta area. So unless this storm took some crazy turn, it would be heading towards at least the south sides of Atlanta in the next couple of hours. So again, we're watching this one very carefully as it looks like it's strengthening, and we have rotation on it now too. So, God, this thing is awful. Sorry, we don't look at rotation too much on this computer, and my color table for the rotation is pretty garbage, so unfortunately we're not going to use that too much unless there's some big time tornadoes going on. Okay, comments you guys got going on? Names in here. Hopefully it's a big one and gets the stormers out of DFW. Okay, all right, so right now if you're joining in, this storm is to the east of Birmingham, just south of Oxford, Alabama. Really starting to take off now. Going to be curious to see what all these showers to the south of it do to the storm. Is it going to kind of kill the storm, or is it going to cause it to strengthen and have the storm really take off? I believe it's riding some sort of boundary layer here. If I'm not mistaken, the warm front is probably, yeah, the warm front is pretty close to where this storm is. So if this storm latches onto the warm front, I can see this really taking off. Whenever a storm latches onto a boundary, whether it's a warm front or an outflow boundary or couple other things, they can really wrap up, drop big tornadoes, and drop really large hail, and that's kind of what we're keeping an eye out for right now with this storm as it's trying to strengthen. I could see it, I believe the warm front goes down pretty much to the LaGrange area and kind of up through here. So if it is latched onto the warm front, it would probably, the warm front's riding north, so it probably would kind of ride along that and eventually come up somewhere in this range area over here. I'm going to move back over to the storm by the Huntsville area, see if we have video froze again. What the heck? Okay, guys. I'm going to check out why my video might be freezing. Video output low. Stream's okay. That's okay. Huh. Yeah, alright, so we already have a quarter report coming in off of near Oxford from that storm up on I-20, which is pretty north of the storm. Okay. Hopefully I'll stop freezing in a minute here. I'm pretty sure switching between radars really kind of kills my video feed for a moment. It takes a lot of processing power in this computer, and I'm kind of pushing the limits to it. So if things get a little too laggy, I might pause the video and restart it to see if I can get a better stream going in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just gonna kind of keep going. You can see the images here, the storm heading towards Meridianville. Looking at it on radar, does not look as good now. Looks like there's other showers to the south of it that might be killing its inflow of hail closer to. So keeping that hail probably smaller at the $quarter to $half range. And otherwise, we're just kind of watching and waiting for storms to occur. For somebody was asking about the Nashville area. I just have it with audio here. With the Nashville area, the moisture has made it up to about Columbia, Tennessee, possibly even as far north as Murfreesboro, and it continues to push north a little bit more. There's a lot more showers forming to the west of the Nashville area, so we have to watch that and see if anything can come out of that. I think the meat of the storms, the main storms, the big storms, are going to be just south of the Nashville metro. I don't think the moisture is going to make it that far north in time. All right, I look good now? Okay. All right, so I'm going to probably have to switch up how I'm doing this live stream a little bit, because every time I switch between radars, I freeze really bad. So just bear with me here, guys. I'm going to switch over from this to just the overall Earth view to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at. We see this polygon here, this little hexagonal shape. This is a mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. They're about to put out a pretty potent tornado watch pretty soon here for the big time storms that are going to be happening a little bit later. So these little storms are kind of the preamble to the much bigger threat in the next couple of hours. The atmosphere is primed. You can even see back here a little line of storms trying to fire over there as well. So we're going to have to see that the atmosphere is really ready for big time hail, for big time tornadoes. Oh, I see they updated their risk here. And okay, I don't think there's not much of a difference in the overall risk area. But again, so what we're talking about right now, we're watching this storm north of Huntsville. This one is dropping probably $1.25 to $1/2 size hail. It looked like it was strengthening really fast, which is why I try to jump on here in time just to make sure we don't miss out on any big hail reports. But right now it looks like it didn't really get its activity there fast enough. We got these other showers in the way. However, this storm to the south of Oxford, Alabama is in a prime location as it's moving east-southeast, generally to the Atlanta metro. And we were talking earlier today in the forecast that best chances for Atlanta to get hit would be any storms that fire out ahead of the line. And it looks like we see another storm's trying to fire down further to the south in Georgia here as well. I think again, the big time storms are going to happen. Let's see, it's 3 o'clock Central Time now, within the next 2 hours. So it is in Zulu time, UTC 20Z, and or not. Yeah, we're going to push forward a little bit here, and in a couple hours, we're probably going to have the big storms occurring. All right, let's see. Can I? Oh, did they drop the warning? All right, so it looks like they dropped the warning. Oh, no, they just added a new warning. Never mind. All right, this new warning it's warned for ping pong ball size hail now. Jeez. Across, you know what I'm going to do? I have a better idea. I am going to do this. I'm just going to switch to screen display so that way you guys can just see what's on my computer screen, and hopefully this will mitigate any sort of serious lagging issues with this computer so the video stays nice and fluid for you guys. Okay, and with that I'm going to open up another radar, and while that is loading up, we're going to look at this storm here. We got quarter size hail reported in, what is this? It's either Harvest or Meridianville. Quarter size hail with this storm. So right now we have quarter size hail. The storm probably still is producing quarter size hail in Meridianville right now as it continues to move to the east. It keeps trying to cycle back up again, and we're really going to have to keep a close eye and see, is it going to strengthen as it's moving through the area? I don't know. In terms of population centers, we're probably going to get pretty rural pretty soon here, and maybe we can flirt with the Chattanooga area in the next hour or two, as this storm is really the storms are starting to get a little more surface based. The storms early this morning were elevated, which means they're very high up in the sky. They don't have a ton of energy to work with, but these are starting to get that little bit more of a supercelled arc shape. And especially with the environment that we're in for tornadoes, that's very concerning. Got to watch every single one of these storms very carefully. Okay. Video froze again. Screen freezing. Not good now. Looking good. Birmingham. What about Macon, Georgia? Thanks, John. Okay. Macon, Georgia. Right now, I don't see anything going on here. Let me just get a radar loaded here. Let's see. All right, we're going to have to watch this storm to the south of Phoenix City. This one looks like it's starting to fire. Again, this storm here towards Oxford, if it starts sucking up these showers dissipate and it just becomes this, I think the storm could really take off. And then we could see a very interesting next couple of hours as it gets into Georgia. Okay. Macon, Georgia, you guys are Mason. It's either Mason or Macon. I'm not sure which one, so I'll just say either. I'll switch back and forth from either. You guys don't have anything to worry about for at least a while, at least the next 3-4 hours. So I think you're okay for right now. Okay, what's this updated warning say? It's warned for golf balls. That makes sense. We're in a pretty rural area with this storm as it's moving. It looked like it was going to try to turn south and east, but it looks like it's still going due east. The longer it goes due east, the closer we can get to other population centers here in Georgia with this storm. We'll see if it can actually strengthen. I know the warm front is somewhere in this area between Carrollton and Atlanta. So somewhere in here, the warm front is lifting north and trying to get the better moisture into the Atlanta area, pushing away all the cloudiness that is in the area. So we're just going to have to kind of see where this goes. Okay, going back here. Okay, a couple more reports have come in. We got a ping pong ball report that just came in. Ping pong and golf ball size hail from this storm that I was just talking about. That's moving pretty much due east. And again, this will be a straight line to Carrollton right now, and then even further we get to Atlanta. The numbers on the map, don't know how well you can see them. They are the dew point temperatures. You see here down in LaGrange, where it's 66 degrees for the dew point. That is the warm front as we're moving up. You can see if I change, if you just pay attention to the numbers here in Atlanta, you see the dew point going up across the areas. They're getting closer and closer to 60, going up a little higher. The more energy you get in this atmosphere here, the more this storm has to work with to really take off as we get closer to the Atlanta area in the next hour or so. $50 report came in the storm in Harvest as it's moving towards, moving across the northern sections of the Huntsville area, and then this will get into a pretty rural section of Alabama in a little bit. Further to the north, here across Nashville, these showers are all non-severe thunder showers, and these won't cause any problems, but we have to pay attention to anything down in this region here. If any of these things can turn into a thunderstorm and then just shoot north and east, then yes, then we can see some storms in Nashville. That's really your only shot in the Nashville area today. Can we get a storm to form down in here and have it rocket north and east into the area? Obviously, I can't predict if that's for sure going to happen or not, but that's, I think, that is what it'll take for Nashville to get hit today. Okay. Macon like bacon. Okay, so Macon, I was right the first time. Damn. All right. So let's see, where else? I'm going to check back in on the radar across the Huntsville area. This storm here, as it's getting through Meridianville, right now doesn't look that great. I think what's killing it is these showers down to the south that's currently in Huntsville, moving north into it. I think it's going to crash into this storm and kind of kill it off. But the big thing that I'm taking away from this storm, that in terms of if you live in the Huntsville area, to be wary of, storms like these, they leave outflow boundaries. So basically, a severe thunderstorm is like a car engine. You need inflow, and then that inflow needs to go somewhere. So that's the outflow that comes out of the storm. So you got inflow coming into the storm and outflow coming out of the storm. And that outflow boundary is something that other storms can go and latch onto to give itself more spin, more energy, is to just kind of suck in and really make big time tornadoes, especially in an environment like this. So when you have an outflow boundary hanging around here, if a storm gets on there, it's going to ride that boundary and cause, you know, more concerning setup, I guess you could say. You know, I'm not trying to hype up things like, oh, you know, Huntsville, you're going to get a big tornado tonight or anything, but the fact that there is some storms here and in this environment, we got to be very careful and watch in the next couple hours to see if other storms form and ride along where all this precipitation was earlier this morning and right now. So, okay, hopefully we don't get any big tornadoes today in populated areas. We do not want any of those around here. Okay. The storm right now, it's either weakening or cycling. We're gonna have to kind of check back in on this in a little while. I think I might end this stream for a little bit here. I don't want to waste my voice too much in the interim period here, because I feel like I may be on here for quite a while a little bit later. But the overall summary is we're watching a storm here that will be heading into Georgia. If it can keep itself together, if it can strengthen, then obviously this will be of great interest to us, because I know the Atlanta area has not seen a storm in a couple of years. And then further to north, watching this storm over by the north of Huntsville, Alabama. Right now looks like it's kind of just weakening quite a bit, and we'll be back when big storms form in the next couple of hours. So don't count this out when we end this video and think, oh, that's it for the day. No, this is just a little taste of what we're probably going to see in the next few hours. So I think I'm going to wrap things up. I'll jump back on here if this storm strengthens and heads towards Atlanta, obviously, so we can cover that. But in the meantime, Just pay attention to your push notifications. We'll send out notifications when we're mapping storms and when we decide to go live. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. I hope probably in the next couple hours here. All right, guys. I'll be back.